Well, hello, everyone. Hey, today's Cyber Monday. This is the day that, boy, I mean, I don't know if you saw the news, but people have spent more money this year on Cyber Monday than ever before. Imagine that. So we will be talking somewhat about Cyber Monday this evening in our Alavito trio. And I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Connie. Go ahead, Connie.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and mute all just so we get rid of any background noise here in the future. So I think most of you have seen the specials coming out. We have a really nice overlap the company has given us, which is great because they gave us the time to also get customer service back open for the Black Friday deals. So we have an overlap of Cyber Monday and Black Friday deals that go through till tomorrow, and they're fabulous. Like I had gone in and bought some of my favorites, and then I went back and looked and I was like, holy cow, I need to get this too. And if I get this, like that YH trio, well, first of all, I love Shine and Dream and X39, X49. So I bought the max of that. And then I looked at the trio on the YH trio of glutathione, eon, and carnosine. And the reality is you're kind of buying two and getting three with that price. So again, if you use two of those patches, you're getting the third one for free. So it really is a great one. You can order up to 5 of those. Silent Night, something I use every night. Ice Wave's always great. For patching someone or emergency. So really great bundles they came out with this year. And then of course we have going in all week all through the end of the week, we have our Alavita trio. Makes a great Christmas gift. It comes wrapped. And it's a good time to stock up for those of us that use the patches and use the creams. It's a fabulous time to stock up. They'll usually run that about twice a year, some kind of discount on the Alavita. So don't expect it again for 6 months. If you're, thinking, oh, I'll just wait and see. So those are great specials. But what I really want to spend time with today is I want to really talk and train on the master skill of inviting, because one of the things we talk about is we're always inviting people to something, right? Our job is really to create curiosity and to invite people to take a look at our product or our opportunity, depending what's important to them. And so you're inviting to watch a video. You're inviting to talk to someone else. You're inviting to a Zoom. You're inviting to an event, be it local or be it the annual convention. Whatever it is, our whole job is about inviting and educating people. That's what we do. So, how many of you have heard of Eric Worre? Yep. How many of you read GoPro? Yeah, I knew some of you have. I can hear it in your verbiage. When you look at with Eric Worre, he talks about the GoPro book is really great. So it's Eric Worre, WORRE, and GoPro talks about the basics of our industry. And this is a profession. And so whether you choose to do this, like I just want to help a few people, or you're doing it because you want to get your patches paid for, or you're doing it because you want to create that residual parallel stream of income, or maybe you're someone that has a bigger dream and a bigger why, and you want to create something truly, truly significant, whether that significance is because of income or it's because of helping people, or it's a combination of both. You get to play it wherever you want, but you will always be doing the same things. And it is truly a profession. It's not just some little side hustle, because there's nothing like network marketing where the average person with any skill level can come in and achieve absolutely whatever it is they want to achieve. I know we've got Dr. Pam and Dr. Amy and quite a few others. I've seen Barry that's an RN and Alder that's an RN, and all these. I've seen so many of you that have spent a lot of money for your educations, right? You put a lot of money and time into your educations to be able to do what it is you do. This industry, anybody can come in and do. It's just paid for performance. It's what do you do? How often do you do it? And do you stick with it? And do you learn the skill set along the way of what's necessary to create whatever it is you choose to create? So Eric Worre really talks about the skills that are necessary in our industry in order to be things. And so in order to be a professional in this industry. So I want to share two of his videos that are pretty short in a training series. And the training series is called, you can find it on YouTube. I will be posting this training in our new team website on the back end of training here in the next week or so. But it's called Inviting the Gateway Skill. And I believe there's 9 short videos in the series. I'm going to skip a couple of the first ones, drop down to 2 I want you guys to see tonight so that we can discuss them. And then I'm going to invite you to look at the other videos, see what resonates, see where you want to take it and what skills you might be missing. When I first decided to become an actual professional in this industry and to really step up my game, I looked at that there were certain skills that I needed in order to succeed. And I went out and I learned those skills and I got mentors for those skills so that I could learn to do it. But it's just us doing it over and over and over again. And you have a team to support you. You don't have to know these skills to get started. You just have to be willing to develop them along the way. So let me share my screen and cross my fingers that I can get this up and running good. So let's see. You guys seeing my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Write this down, please. Our job is to educate consumers. That's our job. We help blind people see. Our goal should not be to get some customers or sign up new distributors. Our goal should always be 2 things. These 2 words, please. Education and understanding. That's our goal. We just want to educate people to the point that they understand. It'll either be for them or it won't. That's what professionals do.
Connie, we're not seeing the video.
Get
You're not?
your product or opportunity and
It's
All
a
right.
blue screen. I don't know what happened. Click the full screen. See if that,
I'm on full screen. That's what I did. Hold on one second. Dang.
we're not on full screen here.
Oh, you're not.
No.
Exit full screen. Can you guys see it okay if I leave it in this mode?
Yes.
Okay, let's just go ahead and share it from this mode. So
in front of a person so they have an opportunity to get educated and understand what it is you have to offer. And then either it's for them or it's not. Either it'll work for them or it won't. Either the product will be a fit or it won't. Either the opportunity will be a fit or the timing will be a fit or it won't. But that's okay. That's not our goal. Our goal is to educate the uneducated. Some people want to be stuck in the matrix. That's okay. It's all right. Seriously. That's their model of the world. We think a little bit differently. Not everybody's going to think the way we think. It's okay. But if we educate them to the point that they understand it, if that's your goal, then you're good. If your goal is to sign them up, to go get them, I'm going to go get them. I used to have that. I'm getting in the car and I'm not coming home till I get one. What do consultants do? Let me walk you through the process. They ask a lot of questions. They evaluate their client to see what the client needs, and then they make recommendations to that client that will be in their best interest. Can they just come in without any questions, without any rapport, and just tell them, just do this? Okay, my day's over. I'm out of here. Nope. They come in and they ask questions to understand where that person's coming from. Once they fully understand, then they make some suggestions, and through those suggestions, they're trying to educate that client on a potential new path that might get them a better result, right? Whether the client acts on it or not is up to them. A consultant doesn't try to close the client on doing what they suggest they're going to do. they're going to try and persuade them in their own best interest. But hey, that's fine. You hired me for my opinion. Here it is. You got it. What if you just did the same thing with your prospects? You asked questions, you made some recommendations, and try to see if it's a fit for them and let them make the decision on their own. If they decide to go to work, the bonus is they get to work with you. That's a better approach for the professional. Next thing I want to tell you, a lot of people get involved in network marketing. You say you work for yourself? Let me introduce you to your boss. Your boss is your calendar. Your boss is your calendar. Your calendar is empty. You are unemployed. You are out of business. Your boss is your calendar. So what are we going to do through this gateway skill, through this invitation process? I'm going to teach you how to fill your calendar with as many hours as you're prepared to give to your business. That's up to you. But whatever those hours are, whether it's 1 hour or 100 hours, I'm going to teach you how to fill it up effortlessly. That doesn't mean you're not going to have to work on it a bit, but it's not going to be a painful process. Show me your calendar and I'll predict your future. Show me. Let me see it. I got to see what you've got scheduled. If you have nothing scheduled, you should be really, really scared to death. But here's what I will tell you. In our business, whoever talks to the most people wins. Write that down. It served me my whole career. Whoever talks to the most people wins. Yes, but the 6 people that I've been talking to for the last 3 years are really, really qualified. Some people fall in love with somebody's potential, and then they become a prospecting stalker. They have so much potential. I call them every day. You ready yet? Nope. Call you tomorrow. Okay. They talk to the same 6 people because they're in love with their potential, because if they ever engage, it's going to be amazing. Let go of that stuff. As a consultant, it's easy to let go of that stuff, isn't it? Somebody decides not to take your advice, it's easy to just say, well, it's okay. Let me know if you need help in the future. Ciao. Entrepreneurially minded people, the reason why whoever talks to the most people wins, entrepreneurially minded people cannot help connecting the dots. So it does not matter. If you are busy and you talk to people in whatever approach that you want, you will get results because they can't help it. They walk into every single business establishment and they start trying to figure out how much the business is making. Every restaurant they walk into, they're trying to figure out how much the restaurant is making. Every concert, how much did this person make with this concert? Every place they go, they're trying to figure it all out. So when you show them your business, they're going to try and figure it out. In the middle of the presentation, you're not even going to know that they're trying to figure out, maybe this could work. I don't know. I know this person. I know that person. Pretty soon they'll start going. It doesn't matter where you start with this. It doesn't matter how influential you are. Hear me. I don't care if no one in your world listens to you right now. I don't care if you're not influential. I don't care if you failed at every single thing that you've ever done. If you start today and you follow what I'm about to share with you, you can get people to take a look and you will get results. It's as simple as that. Okay? So don't worry about contacts. Don't worry about skill level. Don't worry about where you're starting. The learning is in the doing, and the concept of plan, do, review is your best friend. Plan, do, review. Make a plan to do some invitations. Do that plan and then review and see how it went. Did I get results or did I not get results? Okay? Understand? You got this?
Roofer.
Okay.
I chose Wix
Whoops.
for my business because of its.
All right. How many of you have heard these words before? Does this sound familiar? Does some of it sound a little like Mark's manager training as well? And all the different trainings we've done. Stephen, you have your hand up. Do you have a question?
Yeah, hello everybody. Yes, I would. I'm just about to sign up a friend of mine who's a chiropractor, and I'm just about to design like a, kind of a signage. And I'm wondering what sort of wording should I use? Like lots of elderly people there, with less wrinkles, more energy, or what would be the best that would suit? Because you have your salon, right? And then maybe I'm going to approach hairdressers as well. So it would suit both businesses, and that's why I'm wondering if you could just advise me on that,
Yep,
please.
Jason Kendrick, are you on here? I thought I saw him on here
Yes,
earlier.
I'm on here.
Okay, Jason, do you want to talk to him a little bit about the signage and the QR code that you did for one of your practitioners and how many hits she's had a month just by people going into that pre-populated cart?
Yeah, sure. So the best way to do it is once you have discussed, with the practitioner, the benefits of the X39 is basically just have a QR code created. I can go over that, like how to do that. But, you create a QR code, put it on a Word document, and then above or below the QR code, you type regenerate activate your stem cells with Dr. So-and-so, if the doctor is comfortable with using the word stem cell. So that's the best way to do it. And then the one doctor I have that it's working the best with, she recommends it to every patient that comes in, whatever the reason. So everybody gets to hear about it. Every patient is recommended to scan the QR code. And she also has a PA in her office, and the PA does the same thing. So once the providers are comfortable with recommending it to their patients, having that QR code, you print it out on an 8x11, whatever, just a normal piece of paper, and then you put it in a frame, a little plastic display frame, and they can keep that like on the counter in the patient's room or on the nurse's station desk, so that whenever they check out, they can just scan the QR code, and it works out very nicely.
Yep.
Okay,
Thank you.
Jason. So the
Thank
QR code, is it for the video or is it for the website? Which one?
The
did you make?
QR
No, it
code
actually,
is for a
the QR
pre-populated
code
cart.
actually goes to the checkout link. So basically, once they scan the QR code, they go directly to the doctor's checkout link, and then they just, fill out. They have to create a new account and then submit their payment information, and then they place the order.
Okay, so basically it's directed to the website
Yep.
for them
So
to sign
Stephen,
up.
I'm gonna stop you right there. So thank you, Jason.
Yeah.
It's worked very well for Jason, and it can work in any kind of situation, but you're making a pre-populated customer cart in the back office of that practitioner. And that is something that that the upline can help you create. And so we'll take the rest of that offline, but just know that you can do that, and we can reach
Thank you
out
very
to
much.
Jennifer,
Thank you.
Roxanne, and help. Okay.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate that.
Sure.
And so I want to talk just a little bit. Does anybody want to talk about what they heard in that video? Did you like what they were saying? I got y'all muted.
I'm happy to talk a minute.
Sure, go right ahead, and then we'll go to Mark.
I really liked what he said about closing, because the few people that have just jumped in and signed up, they were curious. I gave them information, and then they're like, let's go. But there's been many that I feel like I'm stalking. So I like having permission just to talk about it. If they're interested, they'll sign up. If not, move on.
Yep, absolutely. And remember what we talk about. There's, the end thing when you've given them the information is, what else do you need to know before we get you started? If it's nothing, you
Uh-huh.
enroll them, and then you get them to the team on Sunday nights and to Olivia, that whatever they need to get success for themselves. And if they have more questions, then you take them back down down the path of more information till they get the information they need. And I love, this was music to my ear, because always when somebody says that they not now to me or no, I'm like, you know what? No problem. If you ever change your mind, please reach out to me. I would absolutely love to help you. That's it. Move on. Right. So thank you, Alder. I appreciate that. Mark.
Yeah, the other thing that I heard in there is that anyone can do this. Anyone can succeed. If you're willing to develop the skills, if you're willing to follow the training, if you're willing to plug in, if you're willing to make the phone call, do the work, anyone can succeed in this business. And it's such an encouraging thing.
I love it. Yes. And it is right up exactly to what your Wednesday trainings are. It's pretty much exactly what you do in that training and how you explain the cycle of business. So thank you for that. Kathy.
Yeah, to Mark's point, yes, anybody can do this. And I think a lot of people like me, when I came in, I came from a corporate background. All right. You had to know everything. If you made a mistake, then you got called down on it. So you come in with that mindset, and that's totally the opposite for this. And I have a lady right now who kind of thinks I'm a stalker because she wants to print out everything and do everything because she can't make a mistake. And I said, you can, it's okay. But my job is to educate you. And then if you want to do it, okay. But if you don't, that's okay too.
Yep,
Just
absolutely.
let me know, like you said, just let me know and I'll move on. And if you do decide to do it, then come back to me. But you don't have to know everything.
Absolutely. And one of these 9 different little trainings, he talks about the mindset of network marketing and how it's different. So again, I'm going to show at least one more of these, if not 2, but I do want to really invite all of you to please go and watch all of them. There's going to be things you resonate with and things you don't, but this is the most important skill in the business. Eileen.
Hi. So my favorite thing that he said, because this is something that I had trouble doing at the beginning, was like, let people give them the information and then let it go. If they're not interested, don't try to beat it into them and convince them, why you're right and they're wrong. And just if they're not interested in any alternatives and, they're just negative from the beginning, just let it go. Then that was helpful to hear, because that's something that I had to work on. And then I just wanted to share really quick, what I've been doing is anytime I have a potential client, and I've sent them videos or whatever, I have a LifeWave book and I make up a page with their name, date of birth. Like, I put all the information as if they're going to call me back and be a client. And it's like materializing it, and it's working great. I mean, sometimes I'll make up a page and I may not hear from somebody for a month. And then I was like, damn, there's their page. Now I go fill in the rest of the information.
You're manifesting it.
Exactly.
My husband, Barry we called it our magic pencil when, the early days of building, and even just making your list of everybody, somebody would come to mind for him. He would write their name down, and the person they literally lived in Colorado at the time. And he wrote this person's name down, and we walked out of a restaurant in Mesa, Arizona, and the guy drives up in his truck and goes, "Hey, Barry." And we're like, how did we do that? The magic pencil. I love it. I love it. All right, let's go to the next one I want to show. And so that was our goal in network marketing, which was number 3 of the series. Should you want to watch it again?
Connie,
Yes.
before we move on, Amy has her hand up. You probably
Oh,
can't see
Amy, your hand is so light with your white background. I can't see it. Yeah, go right ahead.
Oh, that's okay. First, I actually love what Eileen just said about making a page. I'm definitely doing that. I love it. I'm new to this. So anyway, I really like some of the things that he's saying. And just a quick question I'd like to hear from other people and you is, there was 2 people I've approached, both have gotten shot and down. One pretty quick, but they're both, one's anesthesiologist, the other's the nurse anesthetist, so people in my field, and they both have regenerative medicine practices, and they're both like, oh, is it MLM? No, thanks. And I'm like, hardly could I even say anything. And I'm like, okay, so I guess they're obviously not open to it. But to me, it's a little bit frustrating because I'm like, I can't even think of a more perfect place for these products than somebody that's already in working with people that are interested in, youthfulness.
Right. I think so. One of the first questions you can ask, and Jason and I had this in an earlier three-way Zoom with someone today. One of the questions that you can ask is, yeah, what do you know about it?
Yeah.
Get them talking or yeah, and find out, because sometimes what happens is you find out that they had a bad experience. Their dad went bankrupt because his brother talked him into it and they had a garage full of Amway. And they think that's what the business is, or they went in with somebody else and something went sideways, or, they don't understand the business. We have somebody in, many people have come into this with this, oh, it's one of those things. And once they've been educated and they learn really what the difference is, they can get on board. But you have to, again, go back to that question, asking the questions to find out what their perspective is and why they're, pushing back on it versus just trying to say, well, no, it's okay. Or just saying, oh, well, never mind then. There's some education that can be done. And you have a way too that you are kind of start off talking to practitioners sometimes to get them more into the idea of really seeing what the technology is and getting excited about the tech before moving into the fact of even adding it into their practice.
Right. I generally like to have them, I ask them, do you know anything about GHK copper peptide? And most practitioners don't know. There are a few that do, but most do not. And then I will say to them, do me a favor, go check this link out. And I have them go to copperpeptidebreakthrough.com. And I also tell them, go even a little further. If you're really interested in that website, go down on the base of the page and you can actually go to Dr. Lauren Picard's website and there's even more information. I mean, it's an eye opener to kind of look at those 2 websites for them. And then I have them come back and say, tell me what you learned about this. What did you see? Can you see the potential for this? So that they can at first really see how eye-opening this is. And what if you could help your clients to improve their health even quicker and better? So just really keep creating intrigue with them before even talking relationship marketing. But if it comes up, it's always, tell me more about that. Tell me why you object to that. I really want to hear more about that, so that you can keep the dialogue going and they don't close the door. You just want to keep the conversation going. Let's talk about this again if you don't have time and things are going on in the office. Let's talk about this again. Get permission for them to talk about it again, so that you can keep the dialogue going till you can get to the point where you can kind of get to their objections and talk that through. Because, and I tell people all the time, look, what you've experienced may not be the case here. In fact, it's not. And we are doing relationship marketing. I mean, we do relationship marketing in the office. You're working with patients every day. You're doing relationship marketing every day. So why not, do relationship marketing with something that can enhance your practice? Because it will definitely enhance the practice.
Yeah, but Connie, one thing that Robin pointed out previously that I've used is that you can respond by saying, well, it's up to you whether or not you want to participate in that piece of it. If you just want to use the product or the technology and offer it to your patients, then you can do that. If you want to take advantage of the rest of the compensation piece later, then we can talk about that later.
Great add-in. Thank you, Jason. Yeah. Because ultimately, when you talk to a practitioner in general, ultimately most doctors got into the profession because they like to help people. They want to help people. And the reason you're seeing many doctors exiting out of their profession is because they feel like they can no longer help their patients in the medical model. And so this gives an opportunity for them to enhance the clinical outcome of everything they do for their patients for $100 a month. And many of the regenerative places, you know, we've worked with even are sending their patients out of the country for very, very expensive stem cell technologies that may or may not work. For $100 a month, they get to help their patients, right? And that's what they want. Did that help?
Yeah, I think part of it's just my own, when I get that reaction like I did today, I wanted to say, well, fine. Like, you know, how can you not see what I see when, you know, there's just I didn't even get an opportunity really. It was just complete shutdown. And yeah, it's like you just want to start explaining everything. But I just leave it for now. I do like what I think Jason said about saying, you know, well, you know, if you don't want to be in that, fine, but, you know, see if they want to just try it for themselves. And I think that's kind of what I was trying to invite her to do, but she just got right off on that foot. So,
and she's probably been approached by a bunch of her patients of everything there is. They get approached all the time with these things, right? You having a relationship is helpful. So you got to go back to the relationship piece. But and it catches you off guard. Jason and I, you know, when we have, you want to automatically explain. And you have to stop yourself and ask the question and find out more, as Ann said, and that takes practice to do it. On our call, I didn't do that. I went into the, you know, I went into the second piece. Well, you could do this or that. It's up to you. But I didn't even stop to ask the question. And I know to do that. It just takes practice. I think also the way sometimes what people will do is they hear that and they think it's a negative. And a lot of times it is, but most of the time, sometimes it's not. You know, when they say, is this MLM? Your response is, yeah, and it's been the coolest thing I've found. Or, yeah, it's super exciting. What do you know about it? Because you don't know. They may go, oh, great. Yeah, I've done network marketing before. I love it. But when you hear that, we automatically think, oh, they don't like it. You haven't even asked.
Yeah. And I actually did even tell this person, I said, you know, I think this is a great thing that it is. And I even offered to send her a video with that Darren Harding about to understand it more, because my impression is she just doesn't even know what it is. And plus, when you go through all the medical training, you only know one way. And you think that is the way. And so I think to have another piece of information explaining it a little bit, but you know,
here's my thing on the Darren Hardy, I would say yes to someone who's coming in, or you know, when they're there, and maybe after she's in. I think going what Ann and Jason said is right away you're trying to convince her versus just right away saying, you know, the business may not be for you, but you really owe it to yourself and your patients to look at this technology and explore the benefits. And that's it. That's all you're asking her to do at this time. You're not asking her to sign up. You're not asking her to enroll. You're not asking her to embrace network marketing. You're just asking her to explore the possibility and the benefits of this technology for herself and possibly her patients if she sees that. And then the next step. So take it in those baby steps. Before she gets there. Kathy.
Yeah, I have the chiropractor that I've been going to for probably 10 years. And I approached him and he said, no, I don't need to add anything else to my business. I'm quite happy the way it is. I said, okay. So I see him every other week. And so he said, wow, your adjustments, I don't know what you're doing, but your adjustments are amazing anymore. They're so easy. And I said, I think it's those patches. And kind of chuckled and went on. He gave me a hug and then I left. And then today he said, I was laying in there waiting on my adjustment. And I heard this elderly man come in and he said, man, I was dying at Thanksgiving. I couldn't even move. My back was pinched. And it's like I couldn't sleep all night. And he was going on and on. And his wife said, yeah, he's in a bad way. And then Dr. Dan comes in and I said, wow, he was in pretty bad shape, huh? He said, yeah, I don't know what happened. I said, you know what? I got a patch for that. You could have had one too. And he started laughing. He said, okay, keep it up, Kathy.
Yep, drip, drip, drip. Dr. Diane, did I see you in here? I don't know if you have the ability, since you're a practitioner using this in your practice. Do you have the ability to come in and join in on the conversation?
Yes.
Okay. I'd love your perspective. How many times have you been prospected?
You mean, how many times have people talked to me about it?
About not LifeWave, but some kind of something
Oh,
you should add
a
to your
lot.
product?
A lot. Actually, I had a patient come in and talk to me about LifeWave and gave me patches like years ago, but she never gave me any information. She didn't tell me there were white papers or research papers or patents. She just said, here, use these, and didn't really say much about it, or gave me a paper to look at, and I didn't really have time. And I tried them and I didn't notice anything. She didn't tell me I might not notice anything. I didn't really know anything about it. It wasn't presented very well. So you really, when you're talking to a practitioner, I think you really have to explain a little bit about the product and tell them the potential of it, or give a little bit more detail to get them a little bit more interested so they would look.
Beautiful. Thank you. Mary.
Yeah, so I agree that I am a practitioner, and I did just recently sign up my chiropractor, and I dripped the information on him over several visits. And it also helped that we shared a client, and I patched her, and she was in a lot of pain for a long time, and the patches got her out of pain very quickly. And so he took note of that. And I also, being involved in other direct selling companies, know that healthcare practitioners do need some information. It is about educating and not trying to, sell them something. And that's a better approach. And I also think being just excited about the product is helpful, because a lot of healthcare practitioners, especially in the medical profession, of which I was a part of for 35 years, are kind of like in this, they're very myopic. And if you're excited about something, they take note of that. It's like, really? It's like that good? Really? And it's like, yeah, it's really that good. You should talk with me about it. Let's, it's dripping the information and finally being able to present to them and share the patch with them. And I think that you'll go a long way doing that with healthcare professionals, if that's the people that you're approaching.
Beautiful. Thank you, Mary. All right, I'm going to go ahead and go on to this so we can get through a couple more things. This next one is going to be on the different types of things you're inviting people to. I believe that's what this one is. So let me see. Let me go to that. I think that's most effective to invite. Maybe that's not the exposure one. How to biggest bag of bioeconomic greatest development network marketing fundamentals of invite. I think this is it.
I decided to try out a Casper mattress, and let me tell you guys, that is the best decision I've ever made. After just one.
Let's talk about the different types of exposures. What are we going to invite people to? What's the best? Is there a best? I'm going to give you my opinion as being a consultant to you. You can argue with this opinion if you want, but I'm going to give you what is the absolute most effective thing to invite somebody to, all the way down to the absolute worst thing to invite somebody to. Would that be helpful to you? All right. Number one, large company event. Number one, a big event, whether it's local, regional, some big event where they're talking about your company, your product. Got 1,000 people in your city, or a couple thousand people in your region, that's by far the most effective. You get people into an event like that, you get a prospect into an event like that, they have no shot. I mean, their imagination is just going to absolutely be captured. They're going to see so much social proof of other people succeeding. They're going to see so much energy and so much credibility and so much power and so much influence. They're going to build relationships with other people there. It's super powerful. Super powerful. Now, the downfall of this is it's the hardest to invite to. It's the most effective, but it's the hardest to get people to show up. You ever try to invite people to, anybody, how many people have local meetings in your local area once a month or once a week or something? Big presentations at a hotel or whatever. Okay? If you invite 20 people, how many are going to show up? 1 or 2? 20 people you invited. 1 or 2 is going to show up. 3 or 4 is going to show up. Right? If you're brand new, depends on if you're influential or not. But I can't tell you how many good leaders I lost over the course of my career. They were excited, they invited 10 people, they all said they were going to be there. And those 10, they stood there at the door saying, I can't believe none of them showed up. I thought they respected me. Nope, not enough. But this is the most effective for sure. It's just hardest to do. Second most effective, small group. Home meetings, luncheons. I'm a huge fan of luncheons, by the way. As far as something to invite people to, huge fan of luncheons. It fits business people's schedule. It fits everything. It's just so great to be able to invite people. They get a quick lunch. You do a quick presentation. They go back to work. It's amazing. I love it. It's not done as much as I would recommend people do it, but that's okay. Take that for what it's worth. But how many people use home meetings within your company, within your opportunity? Home presentations. Okay? Many of you at home, I'm sure many of you. What I will tell you is those are also very effective. You still get social proof, you get some energy, you get some relationships, you meet some people. But is it easy to get them to show up or hard? Hard. And what happens after you invite somebody and they don't show up? Is it easy to re-engage them after that? No, it's tough. So we got to go through a lot of numbers in order to be able to get a result, right? But they work. When we get them in the room, it's amazing. Now, if you're highly skilled, you can do this. Or if you have a person willing to go through the numbers or they're influential, you can do this. This will get you results. Don't get me wrong. It's the second most effective presentation tool in the world. Third, face-to-face, like a two-on-one presentation. You and somebody in your upline or a friend in the business and a prospect. You still get a little bit of social proof because you have somebody else with you. It's not all about you. You got somebody else, third party, that can help with the presentation. That works very, very well. You will lose some people because they don't know the other person that they're going to be meeting with, so they might be a little intimidated by that. And you also may run into challenges with that other person being available. They're not available, so you're trying to figure out a way to make this all work, right? Anybody experienced any of those things? Yes. Are they effective? Answer is yes. They're very effective. But they have their series of challenges. They're the third most effective, but they have their limitations. Number 4, one-on-one. Very easy to get people to show up. Easier than a two-on-one. Less threatening, because it's just the two of you. You don't have as much support, so you're going to have to lean on third party and different kinds of things. You don't have as much support. But highly effective. Number 5, one-on-one with technology. FaceTime, Skype, those types of things. Using technology, but still face-to-face. Face-to-face using technology. You do that, you can rack and stack and do that. Don't leave your house, don't do anything. But a face-to-face, you and me sitting in a coffee shop is going to be different than you and me sitting looking at our computers as far as effectiveness. Okay? But if you don't have a choice, you can do that. It's no problem. Number 6 is a tool. Get them to watch a video, an audio, printed material, sample the product, watch it, view a link, those types of things. That's the 6th. And number 7 is to do nothing. So those are what you can choose to do, and not necessarily as an end in mind. What I want you to think about here is think about all of these as potential tools that you can use in order to be able to fully expose your prospect to become educated about your product or your opportunity. Okay? So for example, you could start at the lower end with a tool, and then you could end up doing a one-on-one, then you could end up bringing them to an event, and you can go up the ladder. Or you can invite them to a big event. If they show up, great. If they don't, then you can bail to a tool, and then you can move back up the ladder. See what I mean? You could decide, I think the sweet spot, because we have a difficulty in a success ratio from top to bottom that increases as you go down, right? Success is smaller as a percentage at the top, but it's still highly effective.
Before communism, China had a glorious past.
I think the sweet spot is here as a mix of effective and as far as being successful in setting it up and making it happen, and effective in getting results. But generally what I'm going to tell you is, and third-party tools, understand I've made a fortune with third-party tools, an absolute fortune with third-party tools. But face-to-face changes relationships. Here's what I know. So what I prefer to do is start with some sort of an event invitation, and if for whatever reason that doesn't happen, or they reject it, or gives you resistance, they don't show up, whatever, then bail to a tool, and then come back to an event. That's what I recommend for most, is start with an event. Hey, come over to my house. Let's meet one-on-one. There's somebody I want to introduce you to. Set up a 2-on-1. Right? Or there's this big event. It's once in a lifetime. It's happening in our city. The vice president of the company's coming. I told him about you. I want to introduce him to you. I'll teach you how to do all those invitations, by the way. And if they say no, or they no-show, then you say, I understand. Life gets in the way. Then you can do an invitation to send them a tool, pique their interest, then maybe meet them for coffee, and then move them up the ladder. Because most of you started somewhere. I don't know where you started, but think about where you started. But ultimately, you ended up moving up the ladder, didn't you? Ultimately, you might have went from a tool to a one-on-one to a 2-on-1 with somebody else. You met somebody else in the business, to a small group to check that out, see what it was like, and then see the company event. It's like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Right? Make sense? So this is what we're inviting people to. Now you can decide. There are whole cultures. Now within your culture, I want you to do what works inside of your culture. But listen to me. Be a student of what really works. Not just what sounds good. Be a student of what really works, not just what's being taught. And I've learned this from hard experience. Like, I'll give you an example. I worked with a company, and one of the top distributors would just absolutely never, under any circumstance, should you ever do a one-on-one. I said privately, what are you talking about? He said, I don't believe you should do a one-on-one. I said, I was his upline. I said, I see your downline, right? You know that, right? I know what all of your strongest lines are doing. And guess what they're all doing? One-on-ones. Yeah, but I don't think they should. Okay. Shouldn't we be a student of what works? Shouldn't we be paying attention to what works? Sometimes people, because they were stuck in some tactic, they get hung up on some tactic. And because that tactic worked 4 years ago, they've been pounding it ever since, trying to get it to work again. Sometimes tactics change. Ways that we connect with people change. Ways that we communicate change. Be a student of what works, not just what sounds good. Inside of your company. There are some companies that they do all of their prospecting and presenting online. Some don't. Some are totally built around their company convention and getting people there and regional events. Some don't. Find out what's working inside of your company and model that behavior, okay? But know this, at the end of all of this, what we're gonna do is try to teach you how to invite in a way that gets results. That's our goal, okay? Don't get hung up on the tactic. You're gonna be inviting to whatever system is in your company that is working. Invite to that.
All over the earth.
All right.
Hyundai Tucson versus Toyota RAV4.
Whoops. Stop that share.
Hyundai Tucson wins every.
All right. Let me get back to the meeting, get a little bigger here. So I'd love to, for the last few minutes, talk a little bit about, anybody want to talk about what they saw? We have a lot of different things. When they talk small groups, the first thing that comes to mind for me is patching parties, right? In-home patching parties. It's a great way to do it. You know, watching for something that's going to come up in a bigger event. We have an event here in the Phoenix area that'll be coming up that one of Ann's, Jim Maver's downline, actually under Molly, is going to be hosting something in the West Phoenix area. Well, they're building event to event. Their job to make the most out of that event is to invite to look at the videos, invite to Sunday night, invite to maybe a home patching meeting, get these people going and teach them how to do the same thing so that by the time we get to the January event, more people are inviting to that big solid event. Everything about their business, and this is what I learned from my sponsor, Harris Williams, is our business is built on events and inviting event to event. So one of our tools and main events that has social proof that's simple and easy to invite to is our Sunday night Zooms. What do they see but over 100 people there? What do they see but smart, intelligent people? You know, for people who love to see that there's medical practitioners, they have medical practitioners, to hear stories. That is all about social proof and is the easiest, simple way to get somebody to one of this more simple things to invite to. So yeah, I'd love you guys to share. Anne, I know you do small group things. I'd like for people to talk about how they've had success. And then really for homework, what my suggestion is going to be is that to go back and watch all of those videos. The next one I really wanted to share with you guys on that is, it's called The Greatest Development in Network Marketing. And it talks about text messaging and how everything has changed in communication now about text messaging. And then he has another one on inviting by phone. And you may or may not love his scripts. You may or not love the way he's talking about these, but this works. This is the business. And if you can learn it, adapt it, and practice it, you get better and better. He also has how to invite to an event. And in inviting to an event, he talks about about how you paint a picture for somebody, where you're going to meet them, what are the details of the big event, where you're going to be standing to greet them, what it's going to be like, what time do they get off work, what are they going to do before they go to work so they can get to this event. You're painting this whole picture and really getting them to see the picture of them coming to this. You're more likely to get them there. And then some of the first ones have a little more information just on all the different parts of this. So I'm going to invite each of you that is interested in developing your business further, take the time to just watch each and every one of these and then practice them. And we'll pick up on maybe this greatest development in networking. I really enjoyed that one, as how to do your schedule, how to line up your calendar. We'll take another training at some point and go in that in detail. But for the last few minutes, does anybody have something they want to add in to this part of the conversation? And do you want to add in anything to what you've seen with your smaller group events?
Well, I mean, I think that I have to say, Connie, your big three-way, if you will, on Sunday night has been a huge hit. And I don't know how many of you have invited people to that Sunday night, but every time I invite somebody, and I have to also say this, when you're bringing people in to be there, maybe you've sent them one video, they've maybe seen one item, or they've had a discussion with you. I have a nurse right now that's been coming every Sunday. It's been 5 weeks. Now, what we have to understand is that people need today more touches, right? You need to sometimes touch them 7 to 8 times before they're ready to engage. I mean, that chiropractic story, that's pretty much what it is. She's continuing to kind of give a little bit of information every time she goes over, and he's going to get to the point, that chiropractor, where he's going to finally say, okay, let's sit down and talk about this, because you're getting great results. And this nurse, who's on her 5th time, is beginning to say to me, I really, really want to go to, we're having a brunch this Saturday, and she's saying, I really want to be there, but my granddaughter has a recital. And she said, if it wasn't for that, I would be there in a heartbeat. So, I'm going to invite her to the next event, because she can't make this one, but she is getting closer and closer to wanting to engage. And she's actually talking about a sister that has issues. So my next question for her will be, when are you going to be ready to get started? What do you need? What do you need from me to go ahead and get started? So, it is, and the dinners are really, we have dinners here. You don't have to do dinners. You don't have to have food necessarily. You can do a gathering and just invite people to gather together. People love to be in community. They miss that through the pandemic, and they love it. And if you can create an environment of, come together, we're going to have a great time. We laugh a lot. We just have a ball. People love it. And I invite them to come back. If they've come back to one, come back to the next one. This is when our next one is going to be. Come and join us. We love having you here. So it's a welcoming environment, and they feel like they're part of a community, and they feel welcome, and they just really, really enjoy it. And then I usually do a segment. The team does a segment. I show a video, and then the team of us share our powerful stories, just like you do on a Sunday evening meeting. So similarly, the same way, and answering questions. We usually have a Q&A, and people often want to come back. It's not unusual. And generally speaking, we get somebody to sign on.
And Mark's saying it would be nice if you could kind of explain the approach you use for the content of those small groups.
You're talking about the presentation itself?
Mark, is that what yeah, he says yes.
Okay. So generally speaking, I will go and I open it up by asking people, what do you know about stem cells? That's always been kind of my approach. I may have to change that in the future, but that has been my approach. And the community, generally, some people know, some people don't. And I'll ask them to share what you know. And then we talk about more in detail what that is and why that's very important. And then I usually will show a video. And it's generally the video that we can find on liveyoungersuccess.com. It's the one that David did at Connie's event. And I really like that one because it's David speaking, and people love it because he explains X39, and he even gets into X49 a little bit at the end, but it's a really great explanation. And then I have the community share their stories together. And so they all go around sharing their stories. And from there, we do the Q&A. So that's generally the way that we do our presentations.
And one of the places that you guys can go, so if you go to liveyoungeryoutube.com and subscribe to the Live Younger Community YouTube channel, you can go under playlists, and under David's playlist, you will find that video that Anne's speaking of, as well as in Live Younger Success Library. You also can find under the library and the of Live Younger. You can also find in that playlist the business trainings. And I know that there is a business training that we did. I remember Jim Maver, he's done a lot of booths and vendor events, and he gave some great ideas. And a few other people who do a lot of home parties gave great ideas. So you can watch one of those business trainings, half-hour business training on events to get ideas. And if you go into Live Younger Success in the library, go down to resources and documents, and you'll see there's a section for home meetings and events. And there's all kinds of tools, and there's all kinds of, there's even like a form in there that gives you guidelines on how to do an event. It's, you know, in your home meeting. So it's all set up there for you to be able to learn. And you're right, Mark, we could absolutely go through this on another training as well. But there are some trainings that we've done with that. And then real quick, and then I'm gonna go to you, Angela. And then someone, Marcy, is saying, I've sent several invites and links, but they are not being viewed. If you go back, if you haven't yet, Marcy, go into our healthiswealth.biz, connect into the Telegram group. And in the Telegram group, you can scroll back up until you find a training on how to invite. And we did a whole training on, and we've also done one on scripts. So there's a whole training on scripts, all kinds of information on that. And I believe you'll also find out when you watch Eric Worre's other videos, you're going to get some ideas of how to present that invite. Whenever you're inviting somebody, it's always the benefit to them. You need to think about what would be a reason that they would want to come. What is the benefit to them in coming? When my mentor, Harris, we had an event in Sarasota, and he wanted to invite all the pickleball players he knew. He didn't talk about anything other than this genius scientist that if they use the technology he developed, it would enhance their performance athletically on the court. That's all he talked about. You know, just what it was going to do for them. The thing that was important to them was excelling at pickleball. And what was this technology going to do to help them excel at pickleball? And that's what he used to invite, is what that benefit was to them. So, Angela.
So we used that information in the Live Younger Success, or I used it. I went and pulled that down to see how to do a home meeting, because I was suddenly in this moment of, sure, I'll do that for you, and having never done one. So I use that as a template, but I was walking into a situation that needed to be low tech, so I wasn't going to be able to do the videos. So I just took down some notes of what the different videos said, like the 2-minute what is phototherapy. I used some language from Dr. Hubbard, I think, that I thought was really good, and just kind of put that together. And so basically did the video in a short form just from my notes. And there were enough of us there that we shared some stories. And it was a situation where somebody had been talking to so many people, and she was getting, you know, it was Sandy, she's on here. So she was like, I have all these people. And I said, let's just get them together. So we did it that way. It went so well because we tried to focus on just getting some basic information out, sharing a couple things back and forth. I tossed it off to Lori. She did the corporate side and some of that. I tossed it off to Nicole. Sandy shared what had changed for them, why she invited them. And it just kind of bounced around the room. And I said, let's just talk. Let's do questions. Like, ask me all your questions. We'll try to answer them. And we did it that way. It went so well that now there's somebody else who they patched for having those massive debilitating headaches, and she was never getting out of them. Well, she's this young gal, and she's been talking about it so much with her family. She's like, her mom, her dad, her uncle, like all these people. So we're going, hey, let's do this again. And she says, oh, that would be so much easier if we could just talk to them at one time.
Absolutely.
So the format works really well, all those documents in there. And I just printed off a bunch of them and brought them. I had no idea how many people, and we just had a good time and just shared back and forth, and everybody got to ask some questions. So it worked really well.
That is perfect, Angela. And then you move them, of course, for continuing education, even after they sign up, into our Sunday night community, because that's the glue, right? Is our community. Jim.
Yeah, real quick, I'm part of Ian's group there, and We do the dinners, and all the associates cook something up. And, you know, when you bring your prospect, it's a very relaxed, fun atmosphere. They sit down and eat, and they get to talk with the people that are having issues and how they've come out. But when you do the stories and these people that have come and see the raw emotion, that they either cry or there's something that really impacted their life, it makes a huge present on the person that's there, saying there's possibility for me.
Yep.
Just want to say.
I love that. Thank you, Jim. Jason.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, I was trying to figure out how to unmute on my phone. It's different than the laptop. So is there a place to go to watch all the videos from this speaker that we had on tonight?
Yes, so that's where I'm going to have you. I mean, I'm eventually going to put them into our healthiswealth.biz on a second page, but for now, just go into YouTube and put in the search bar, Eric Worre.
Okay.
ERIC, Eric Worre, WORRE, and put in inviting the gateway skill.
Okay.
And you'll pull up, and then what you can do is I would subscribe to his YouTube channel. It's a great trainer. And then go into the playlist on his YouTube channel, and there'll be a playlist with all 9 of these videos. And it's the easiest way. It's what I did on Sunday. I just watched one after another and took notes. That's why you guys keep seeing me come down here, because I've got like all these pages of notes. And that'll be the best way for everybody to do that. And then we'll get back and we'll do more trainings on this. I think this is a really, really important piece, but I think it was a great start. So thank you, everyone. I know we're a little over. I appreciate so much your time. And I will get this posted into our LW Health is Wealth Telegram channel. So you'll have it to review on there as well, or share with anybody else on your team. Okay.
Bonnie, before you close, I
Yeah.
just want to let people know that I'm working on an Alavita document from the Alavita presentation that David did 2 weeks ago. Similar to what we have in the aroma. I don't know if all of you got the aromatherapy document, but we have an aromatherapy document that, in fact, Colleen Mass was the one that sort of initiated this discussion today, because she said that she loved that document and she uses it on her radio talk show, and she shares it with people. But she also was asking, can we have a similar document with the Alavita? And so I've been putting that together, and once it's put together, I'll have it done by tonight. Then I will make sure to send it to you so you can forward it to everybody. Because tomorrow that special is running, and she wants to be able to send it out, and all of you can send out that document as well.
Yep. And you just want to put it into the groups in the channel?
Oh yeah, I can do that.
Have it?
Sure. I can do
Okay,
that.
that'll be great. Jason? Nice mustache. Did you have your hand up still, or is that from before? I think it's from before. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording, but then I am going to remind you guys of what we have going on this week.